last couple of hours. A Dane County Circuit Court commissioner has set a $10 million cash bond for Paul Van Dyne, the Madison man accused in a poisoning plot targeting 2 women. Van Dyne appeared in Dane County Court this afternoon. WMTV Shannon Ajawan listened in, and she has more on the state's arguments and the commissioner's decision on that bond. Shana?
Van Dyne and his alleged accomplice, Andrea Whitaker, are accused of using elaborate poisons in a plot to harm women he briefly dated. Prosecutors argue he poses a public safety risk, citing toxic substances found in multiple locations. Agents from the FBI, DCI, Madison Police, and National Guard helped recover toxic substances from properties tied to Van Dyne and Whitaker. Some chemicals were so dangerous, they sent investigators to the hospital. Prosecutors allege a poisoning attempt in May with possible plans to target others. The commissioner ruled high bond was necessary because of Van Dyne's access to resources.
Evidence is continuing to come in, but at this stage, I have to say that Mr. Van Dyne might present one of the greatest threats to public safety that we've seen in this county in many years.
Van Dyne's defense team argued he's not a flight risk. They say he is a mechanical engineer with family ties to Madison. But the court decided to keep the bond high as evidence continues to be collected. Live in studio, Shana Najawan, WMTV 15 News.
Shana, thank you. His next court date in Dane County is set for August 4th at 2 p.m. for a status conference and a preliminary hearing. He still faces a separate set of charges in Rock County for another alleged poisoning.